Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Whether or not Ripple can outperform the SEC. When does Ripple plan to update its defense with new evidence? When the free trial period finishes, how much will the full version cost? In today's video, we'll discuss these issues. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Ripple's top lawyer, Stuart Alderoty, has argued that Gary Gensler shouldn't be involved in future classification determinations for cryptocurrencies. The attorney warned today that it was possible that Gensler will make biased choices in the future. The head of the US Securities and Exchange Commission recently declared in an interview that all crypto assets were securities except Bitcoin, which he used as evidence. As chair, Gensler already knows the outcome of the lawsuit. He has reiterated his previous statement that all cryptocurrencies, with the exception of Bitcoin, are unregistered securities. According to a tweet from Stutter, he will not be able to cast a vote in any enforcement proceeding involving that matter. In a wide-ranging interview with New York Magazine published on February 23 RD, Gensler discussed the cryptocurrency market and claimed that, unlike Bitcoin, all other cryptocurrencies were securities due to the presence of a group in the middle from which the public expects benefits. His comments were misunderstood by the crypto community to suggest that all cryptocurrencies aside from Bitcoin were subject to SEC regulation. According to a tweet by Blockchain Association lawyer and policy lead Jake Chervinsky, Gensler may have already ruled that all digital assets other than Bitcoin are securities, and that until the SEC establishes its case in court, it does not have the power to regulate all cryptocurrencies. Even though the commissioner claimed to be in control of the cryptocurrency industry, the attorney argued that Gensler's opinion is not binding law. Even though we have no idea what will happen with the case as a whole, the community is still waiting for the court to rule whether or not Sharp is a security. This litigation against Ripple has been going on for years. By analyzing past outcomes that are analogous to the current situation, we can better predict future results. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against Elbri, a blockchain-based sharing platform, in March 2021 for selling its tokens without first registering them with the SEC. Yet, a judge on the Court of Appeals just made a ruling that tokens are only securities when sold in the primary sale. It is widely believed that Ripple will be granted a favorable verdict if it can demonstrate to the court, as Lawbury did, that it never staged an initial coin offering ICO. The price of XRP would skyrocket if it were listed on major exchanges again, including as Coinbase and Binance US, should Ripple prevail. Ripple's chief technology officer, David Schwartz, has updated his Twitter header to a photo with a message. The word Ripple appears at the top of the page, and the surrounding material makes clear that the SEC is taking action against Ripple. The crypto community is abuzz with speculation about what Schwartz might mean and whether or not this provides any clues as to the outcome of the case. A scrappy financial company learns the hard way that the cost of challenging the status quo is higher than they could have expected as they get tangled up in a web of deceit and betrayal while trying to provide rapid payments to the masses, as the profile image caption puts it. Screenshots of this statement from the RC2 of Ripple and co-creator of XRP Ledger have been shared and discussed by a number of crypto enthusiasts on Twitter, who are all trying to make sense of it. But they do concur that the fight with the SEC began in late 2020 and has continued ever since. To help Schwartz CEO Brad Garlinghouse and other Ripple officials win the case and protect the crypto industry from CIA control, several members of the XRP army have been tweeting their support for the legal team. As numerous advocates of crypto believe, the SEC appears to be working towards classifying cryptocurrencies as securities and regulating them using securities law that dates back to the early 20th century, when financial markets were still largely analog. The Twitter user Ashley Prosperin speculated that Schwartz's statement was meant to convey the idea that in order for Ripple to continue operating as a business, the company may have to forego its stated mission. Simply convince the group that, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP is not a security and should be treated as such. The founder of crypto law in the US and a vocal advocate of Ripple in its dispute with the SEC, John Deaton, has disclosed what he believes to be the major condition on which the fintech firm will agree to settle with the SEC. If the SEC approves a paper indicating that XRP is not a security, then he will allow secondary market sales by anyone, including cryptocurrency exchanges, according to his most recent Twitter thread. According to him, 1,010 lawyers recommended a settlement in this case. Ripple, in Deaton's estimation, would be unwilling to make concessions. combat for control of the Bitcoin market. He thinks Ripple will cave because of its fiduciary duty to its shareholders. If Ripple declined the offer to settle the issue and the case went to trial, the company might be in court for a decade. Despite the fact that both Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission have submitted their last arguments, a summary decision has not yet been issued. Concerns about the ability of regulators to exercise control in the cryptocurrency industry and to unseal key papers remain the primary emphasis. In the most recent development, professional explorer John Deaton has disputed a statement by SEC head Gary Gensler, in which Gensler claimed that all cryptocurrencies save than Bitcoin DC are categorized as securities. The SEC is using Ripple to sell supplementary security, which is interesting to note. There is no agreement on how to categorize securities, as Deaton tweeted on February 27. MicroStrategy executive chairman Michael Saylor was quoted as saying that Gensler's comments are evidence of growing consensus on the classification of security, and this prompted him to respond. While both parties are still waiting for the summary ruling, Deaton has already discussed potential settlement options. If the regulator determines that Ripple's current and future sales of surplus power do not qualify as securities, the company will pay a settlement of $150 million, as stated by Deaton. But he warned that the SEC's approval of the strategy was highly unlikely due to the agency's growing crackdown on the digital asset industry. According to Deaton, the sitting court has the authority to shed light on the secondary market for ARX rupees. It's worth mentioning that Ripple's general counsel, Stuart Alderoty, has already hinted that the SEC has very little chance of winning the case at the Supreme Court based on past outcomes. Thanks to the few who had the guts and resources to fight back against the SEC's misogynistic bullying and adhering to stretch legal arguments that were not faithful to the law, the SEC has lost 4 of its last 5 cases at the Supreme Court, he noted. Journalist Rosalind Layton's move for discovery of the Hinman speech records breathed new life into the lawsuit, as had been previously reported. This June 2018 lecture by the SEC's former director of the Division of Corporate Finance may provide a good illustration of the agency's classification of securities. Ethereum and Bitcoin are not securities, and the same logic can be applied to ARX in other countries, Hinman agreed. Ripple has been the target of a class action lawsuit since 2018, and defense attorney James Fallen has revealed a new twist in this case. Specifically, the California case. Investors are demanding compensation for financial losses they incurred as a result of XRP being sold by the company and its CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, as an unregistered security. According to Feingold, they have filed paperwork asking a court to classify XRP as a security. In the newest development, the plaintiffs have filed a motion in opposition to Deaton's request to be added to the case as an amicus brief. It's all over today. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.